Resume recording. I forgot that I paused the recording of this meetup. So it's recording now. So if looking at this, you can see that we have a default color of blue, black, green, and image is just looking, okay, let me just look for an image. Okay, let me pick this. Okay, so I'm going to rename this to, hold on guys, hold on. Oh, sorry, I'm back. I'm going to quickly do something. So this is going to be our heading 1. Heading 1. Under HTML tag, I'm going to change this to H1. This is going to be our heading 2. Let me know if you are following. So this is H1. Heading 3. H3. H3. And the final one here is the heading 4. H4. Then what we have here is the body content of our website. So I'll just add more content here. Okay, let me drop an inner section so I can control this content. Okay, you see how, so this is our button. We are going to call it learn more. So remember, the purpose of doing this is because you don't want to be going back and forth to be adjusting the different elements you have on your website. So let me drag this here. So I want all these things to be on one screen. Okay, we all can see the widget I've dropped on this section, right?
Yes.
Oh, great. Oh. So what I'm going to do is to create a global color scheme for my design. And to quickly do that, I'll just pick a random color. Let me do Adobe Colors. So we are going to pick random color for our design. Okay, let's look for something warm. Okay, let's pick this. Okay. Let me duplicate this and bring in our column. Kevin, should button be primary or secondary? You can create a primary and secondary color, which I will show you how to do that. So for your secondary button, you can just differentiate both with color and the border. So we have our color system here. So what I'm going to do is to go to our design system, site settings. So we start with global color. So global color, I need to delete all these things. I have a whole lot of demo colors I have here. Just give me some time. Let me quickly delete all these guys. So you can delete all the custom color you add on your design system. You can add more than 4 colors as your web project requires. The color scheme you are using, you can add all of them. And let me know in the comment section if you create a mock-up before designing your website, if you use Adobe SD or Figma to create mock-up. Let me know in the chat section. Figma, okay. So who else is using Figma or Adobe SD? Oh, I think we have Figma fans in the house. Shout out to Figma fans. I use Figma and also Adobe SD depending on what I want to achieve. So what we have here is the 4 global colors Elementor has for us. So we have the primary, secondary, text, and accent color. So what we are going to do is using this, our color palette here, we are going to design our website using this color. So we have like 5 colors there. So I'm going to add these 5 colors. So what I'm going to do is just to pick my color. This is the first one. So my primary color here should be blue. So I'm going to pick this blue, kind of a navy blue color. So I will change it. You guys see, I've changed the primary color to blue. So I'm using the color picker add-on for Mozilla browser to pick my colors. So the color picker helps you to sample colors from any website you are on. So you see how easy it makes it. So you can sample color from any website you like their color scheme. You can sample color from there. So I'm going to add the last color, which is gray. Hello, Oscar, I can see you. Hi, nice to have you here.
Thank you very much. Greetings from Miami.
Yes. So we have our last color, and you can decide to rename your color. You can call this a light gray. You can call this a dark one. You can call this a deep dark. So the naming convention is based on your preference, how you want your team or how you want people that your client to communicate with you. When you talk about color, you can say, okay, for this color, we are going to use the deep dark gray. So your client or your team member already know the color you are referring as a deep dark gray color. We can call this our lime yellow. It's just a name. So I will call this our our navy blue. Don't know what's wrong with my keyboard. Okay, good. So you see what happened now? Immediately I changed the primary color, which is the navy blue. All our heading changed to navy blue, and our button changed to the dark gray. Then our text changed to deep dark gray. So you see everything here is responding to this global color. And from this place, we can then start working and customizing our elements. So I have defined the global color. So next thing I'm going to do now is to update by clicking the update button. So now my global color is updated. The next thing we are going to look at is the global font. So for the purpose of this meetup, our primary headline is going to be, let's use Roboto. So what I normally do is to drag through and see the element that will respond to this. You see, the headings are responding to this. And there is a site called Typescale. If you don't really know how to set up your heading 1, heading 2, the typography of your website, you can visit this website. It will give you more like a guide on how to set up the types of your website. So you see here we have the type scale for the body. So let's look for our Roboto font. These are Roboto fonts. Let's make it 3. So what I normally use this tool to set up my typography for my website. So it kind of give me a visual representation of how my body content will look like. So let me pick. So you see the line height 1.7, the background is white, the color is black. So I already see how the body text is going to look like. Then for the headings, I'm already seeing my heading 1. So you see that heading 1 is about 3.0 range, that's 48 pixel. Heading 2 is 39 pixel, heading 3, 31 pixel. So yeah, I did math in school, but doing all this calculation at times can be crazy. So what we are going to do is we are going to use 48, 39, 31, 48, 31, 31. So back to my design. So for heading 1, I will quickly go in and set all these headings to this type space we are going to use. Okay, so for heading 1, we are going to do under style, we are going to have typography. We change this to pixel, then we put it 48. For this, we are going to change it to, I know we all know how to work with the Elementor style section. What site did you use for your color palette? So for the color palette, I think I use AWSD. I use AWSD. So this is going to be 39, 31. So 39, weight is going to be 4. The font weight is going to be 400. 31. 31, 400. So we can visually see the difference on this weight and the size of the headings. And the last one, which I see to be my heading 4, I'm going to reduce it to because I normally use my heading 4 for labels and metadata, so I will reduce it to like 14, make it increase the line spacing a bit. The line height is 1, because it's going to be very small on my design, so I don't really pay much attention to it. For this, we are going to check heading 3. And this is going to be our heading 2. And finally, this is our heading 1. So this might really take time, but it really worth the time you are taking to set them up. Okay, we have this and we have this. I think we are good to go. So what I'm going to do is to update this and go back to my design system.
May I say something?
Okay, Oscar.
Yes, I see you're using absolute size font in pixels.
Yes.
My recommendation would be to use REM.
To use REM.
Root EM.
Yes, this.
And yeah, instead of using pixels, if you set it up at 48, it's going to be 48 always.
All over.
In mobile, in desktop, in tablet mode. If you set it in REMs, it's going to be resizable depending on the device, which is going to help you on the design. Have you ever tried that?
Yes, I've tried that. I did the pixel for us to see the visual size difference. So when I'm in the design system, like now, you see how I'm going to change it to mirror down the REM design. What's it called? Unit. So right here on the design system.
Kelvin, quick question.
Okay.
When you're using more than one font for your design, how do you go about that? Is it still the same?
So when you're using more than one font, you are going to create those fonts as a universal global font. I will show you once we get there. So under here, global font. So what we are going to do is to remember we have our primary heading to be have a bunch of custom fonts here coming. This is my demo platform, so I always have testing things on this platform. So what Oscar just said, I'm going to show you guys how to add that on your design system to create that consistent look of your font across every device where you are viewing it from. Okay, so for our primary headline, so right now nothing is happening. So what I'm going to do is, remember I have this site opened. We use 48. So we are going to use this, the rim value, to create our design system. So under the size section, you see have pixel, the M, the rim, and the view weight. So now I'm going to select this and change it to that value. So we have it here. So we don't need to go in from page to page to adjust this value. We already have it on our primary headline. Then the same goes to our secondary headline is going to be the H2. It's going to be the H2. So I'll go back to my typescale.com and pick the value, the rim value, and come back and change it to rim and put the value here. So that's what, for the body text, nothing is happening because I haven't defined any element on the system to take that global body font. So I'm going back here. So right
Keep
here,
keep in mind that one rem is 16 pixels.
here's
1.5
one RAM,
is
2
16
pixel.
times 1.5, that is going to be 24. Two rems is going to be size 32. And that's rem is the multiplier of 16, basically, depending on what you have defined on the browser.
Yeah, I will drop this
That's what it is.
converter. Thank you, Oscar. So this is where you want to do the math. So this link will help you to do the math if you put 48 like we used. So it's approximately 3 RAMs. So this is the platform I use to do my conversion whenever I'm working on a project, and you can see the conversion table here. So it's a good tool to look into. So with that out of the way, we are going to take our body text. So let me make use of that tool for us to see what I'm going to. So for the body text, we normally have it based on the typeface we are using. We normally have it to be 16 pixel, which is equivalent to 1. Based on the font you are using, some body text can be 18, which is 1.1. So we are going to take it to be 1 ring. So for our body text, we are going to take it to be 1 ring. Is already 1. Then for our accent text, which is the H4, remember I made it to be 14 pixel. So this is like 0.8, approximately 1, but I'll just put the decimal range, and this is what we have. I'll take it to 400. I copied something else. Okay. Okay. So so I'm done with this. What I will do is to update and show you guys how this is going to reflect on your template. So what I'm going to do is to ensure that everything I'm doing is working. So for our primary headline, I'll go to typography and click on the icon, primary. You see what happened, it have changed. Secondary. I didn't define that. So for body, is already. Then for our accent, so we have this. So you see that anywhere I'm using all these elements, the headings, the body and everything is going to be consistent across the pages. And one thing I love about this design system is when you are working with a client, they will tell you that, oh, I don't like the font you are using, or I don't like the color of the heading. You don't need to go through pages to make the changes. All you need to do is just come back to your design system and just change. You see what is going to happen. Remember, we are using Roboto here. All we are going to do is just to change the font on our design system. So I'm going to change the primary font to be, let's say, Montserrat. Did you see what happened? So this I've already changed to, okay, let's make our heading one a display font. Something very cool. Okay, let's use this. Okay. So with that done, I will quickly enter into typography so we can see what's happening here. So for our body text, so we can adjust the paragraph spacing and it will be default across all the pages of our website. .1 typography. So this is 16 is 1. So we are good to go here. we have already defined the color for our body, which is this. So for our H1, we have already defined, it's already showing, we have already defined a global color for it. So this will not have effect until we manually impute it. So this section, this is where you can go in and define how you want your link or the link on your website to look. So for every link on your website, you can decide to change the color. Let's say, let me put a link so that we can see it. Okay. Okay, let's create a hyperlink here. Call it google.com. So we see now our link is showing red. We are going to control how we want all our link. Hope you all can hear me.
Yeah.
So under our design system, we
we can hear you.
Oh, great. We are going to, under theme style, we are going to typography. So now you see our link color is red, so we can control how we want it to look. So remember, we have a brand color. So we are going to pick one of that color. Okay, we say, okay, we want our link to be yellow. You see what happened? Every link we have on the site have turned to yellow, which is not good for the eye. So we'll make it to be our dark navy blue. So this is how we control that. Now, if you notice, our button link have changed to blue. So this is where you can go into the individual element you have and control how you want it to look. Under button, you can control the color. You see, I can control the color of my button. We can make it to be light gray. We can make the background to be yellow. So this is where you can control how you want your button to look like. I can remove all the border radius. I can decide to add, I can make my button to look like this. Okay, so with that out of the way, what else do we have here? Typography, I think. Okay. So with this, I've already created my, okay, remaining for image. Okay, for image, I want to add a border radius of 30. So for that is much, 15. Also want to put a box shadow, a little box shadow. So you are taking the time to create this system so that you don't have to be doing this on individual pages. Okay, on hover, I want to make my image to go to black and white to lose the saturation. So this is what I want all my images to do. And I want my transition to be 0.8. So with that done for my hover, scan through to see if I have a question. Okay. Okay, that is for the image. I think that's the major thing I need for the site. So remember that every image on my site, there is a shadow. I've added shadow to it to create a kind of depth to the design. I don't know why this is not. So with that done, what I'm going to do is to then enter into my actual project to start designing my website. So I'm going to pages. If you have questions, you can drop it on the chat section. Hope you guys are following. So I'll create my first page, which is going to be our demo home page to demonstrate the design system that we just created for this design. Because the main reason for this is to create consistency in your design. I've seen some projects when some of the community members send me their website to review. Sometimes I tell them that your font, your typeface is not consistent across your pages. Your heading is using this different typeface. The sizes are different. So this is how you can tackle that to create that consistency. Publish. So I would suggest that you make out time to go and read up on different design system. You can look out for design system for the Atlassian and then for Mailchimp and that of Google to see how they create a design system and also see what you can pick from the design system. Like Google has the type system, type scale. So they also have that the same process. You see, they are using Roboto Light 95, so they are using line spacing. So you can see the different sizes of the headlines they have defined. And this will help you to create a consistent look and feel on your website. So with this, you are going to design with Elementor. Do you save before exit? Yeah, I've done that. So always remember to save your work when you are working with Elementor. Though Elementor auto-save, that you can change that in the setting page. Elementor auto-save your work when you leave for like 5 minutes or something. So I'm going to hide my title. So what I'm going to do is just to create a single column section. So we are going to bring in our title. So we see it's already taking that design and we are going to bring in our image. So I don't need to style every single image I bring into my website. This is already doing that for me. Okay. Oscar, do you want to say something?
Not at this moment. I think I left my hand raised a while back.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
So we all can see that I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to make it a H3. Then I'm going to pick my H3. Let's say this. So you can see the difference between the H1 and the H3 or the H2. The H2. So I think Tahili, you mentioned about using different fonts. So this is how you define the different fonts. So if I add another tagline or another heading here, okay, let's say we want this to be like a description text. So I can reduce and make it one. I can make it 2 reams or 1.5. Then I can decide to choose the different fonts. Europa regular. Let me choose something that is something we can see. Okay, let's Adamina. Okay, something like this. So now, if you want to be adding this particular font, all you need to do is just save it as a global font. So you can call it, this is my custom headline. So you have this already, you can just save it. So all you need to do is just go back to your design system and put it to the particular content you want it to have. So now we see we have created this page. See, what we are going to do is to update. So let's say, for instance, you have all these headlines, like you have this particular setup for like 500 pages, and you want to change the color to, let's say, the yellow color. You want the heading to be there. All you need to do is just go back to your design system, go back to your global color, go back to your global font. Oh no, it's good. We are talking about color. So once you change this to be this, so anywhere you have that heading defined on your website is going to change the color. So you don't need to go from page 1 to page 2 to change all those colors. Automatically, it goes across all the pages and updates the color. This is more like what we use when you're using components, when you're creating components in Adobe SD, where you change the color of your component, it goes across all the screens and changes and updates it to the latest color. So that's what that does. So this will help you to create a kind of consistency in your design, whereby you can have consistent heading 1, heading 2, or your heading 3, all your images on your website. Let me drag in more images and show you guys. When you import template, does your define global templates override? I don't think it doesn't, but we'll try that out to confirm if that is. So now I'm going to duplicate, I'm not going to drag in another image widget. You see, without putting any image, we are still having that boss shadow. So you don't need to keep creating. Let me make them side by side. Custom. So we all can see that we already have the theme style we have already defined for our images and for our button, you see. So any button I bring into my design, with any button I bring in will take that shape. So I don't need to go in to start designing my button from start again. I've already defined how I want my button to look. So on any page where you have your button displayed, is going to take up that style you have defined for it, creating that consistency in your design. Same goes with your paragraph, if I want to drop a body text here, so once you look at it, you already have this to be, it's taking the default, which is 1. You see, it's already on ring. So you won't see anything here because it's taking the default. Then same goes with every other element you have defined. So it's based on the project you are working on. You can take your time to design your system using the Elementor design system and the theme Elementor design system and the theme style. So once you use this to first of all design your elements, it's going to help you save you time for customization when you are creating other pages. Then another thing is under settings. This is where you control how you want your entire site to look like, where you have your site identity. This is where you can change the title of your site. Lagos Elementor meetup. So we are live. So here I can decide to add a logo. I can decide to add a logo. Then I can decide to make this a favicon. Then I update. Then I can go back and set up my background. So I can decide to make all the background of my website to be like a gradient. Let's pick this dark shade and light shade. Let's say light and dark. So you can decide to create something like this and control. So you can have this gradient fill on your website and play around with it to get what you want. So once I save this and go to another page, look at Elementor. I'm trying to create another page to show. Okay, so let me hide this, create and put our heading 1. So we have our heading 1 here, and put our image. Let me look for an image that will speak.
Kevin, you're muted.
I'm back. Okay. So you see, I just added this image on a different page. It just gave us back our theme style. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this and for us to preview it. So This is what we have here. See the background I've already changed. So what I'm going to do is, while on this page, I'm going back to our design system. I'm going to our global color. So I'm going to pick, where is that? Okay. I'm just going to pick a random color for this. I'm going to make it a little bit darker. Then I'll save it. So see what happens to our about page. This is the color we have. Once you refresh, boom, it takes the color. So you don't need to go in. I noticed from some of the projects I've reviewed so far, each page has its own heading widgets, body widget, and everything. And you have to style it from page 1, page 2, page 3, and that is very tiring. So with this feature in place, you don't need to be designing your headings and your body text, the button, the images page by page. You can just design it first on your design system. You can just design everything you need here, your button. And another thing, you can also decide on how you want your image to do. So if I want this image to come up as a light box, I can also define it here. Under image, I can, under light box, I can disable image light box. I can say for all my images, I want to hide this. I don't want to zoom, I don't want to share, don't want to show all these things. Then once I do this save, I can come back to this guy and do for my image, link to media file and Lightbox. Yes, I will save. So what this will do is, instead of, once you click, you see what happened. Just be looking. Hope you all can see my screen.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, see on this light box, we are only seeing the close button. See what will happen once I activate some of the features, zoom, full, and share, and I'll save this. I will refresh this. You see, we have full screen. So you can control what you want to show on your Lightbox image. You can decide to share it. So this kind of helps you to create more like a minimal feel on your Lightbox. I can decide to show the title, the description. Then this background, we can see this black overlay, we can change it. We can say, okay, we want to mirror our brand color. Then we update. Come back to this guy, refresh. You see? So you see, you can control every aspect of your website from this single settings Elementor have provided us with, without going into individual pages. So I can decide to create a hover effect. So I can just customize a whole bunch stuff here and just get them working. I can remove this. So that is it for the light box. When I come back and refresh. So we have all these things. For every image you have on your site, where's the one I was working on? Okay. So that is it for Lightbox. What else we have here is for layout. So you notice that Elementor by default gives us that it gives us I think 1200. That's the content width. So what I mean by content width is when you create a new section for your content, this section, this width, by default, Elementor gives us, I think, 1200. So based on what you are building, the screen size you are building, you want to have your content bleed out from your content area. And let's say you want to have something that I'm using a 32 inches monitor. That's why my screen is big. Let's say you're using a 13 inches monitor. You can decide to give yourself, under the layout section, you can decide to give yourself a 1250 pixel content width. So that means all the new section and this widget gap, you can either leave it at 20 or you can reduce it a bit to 15. I normally reduce mine to 15. So under here, you can also define what you want your each page's theme page layout to be. You can make it Elementor canvas or Elementor full width. Here also, you can define the breaking point of your mobile phone. You can say, okay, I want mobile to break at 768 and I want my tablet to break at 1025. So once the screen size reaches these two values, they will move from tablet to mobile or stuff. So you define all those things under this section. Thank you. Okay, that's great. Oh, thank you, Oscar, for that. Then another thing here is the form field. So for your forms, you can as well create how you want the field to look, the focus. So you can style everything. Let me see whether we can quickly get form into this section and just set it up for us that create contact form. And do we all know that Elementor now provide a form submission? So you don't need to be looking for plugins that will save your form data. Elementor now has the ability to save your form data. So under Elementor, you see submission. So under this, you see you can save all the entries you have on your form comes to this window. So this, I think there is I will share the link. I think I shared the link when they announced it. So I will still share it when we are done with this. So what we are going to bring in, we are going to bring in a form to our design. So before, you already know how you want your form to look, to mirror your brand. So what you need to do, just go back to your design, your theme style, and go to forms. So here, I'm going to change the color to take our brand color, typography to body, background to this, focus to this. I hope this is working because I'm not seeing anything. You see the button I've already changed to our default setting. Let's just see what we have here. Save and go back to here. Let's refresh this. Awesome. If you have a CSS settings somewhere, how do you find it? It could be set global section. What I normally advise for when you are using CSS, a custom CSS, I always ensure you come and do it here. Under the site settings, you see custom CSS. Put all your CSS, custom CSS here so that you can easily track it where they are on your website than having it on your, sometimes see people, they will just come to a section like this, they will go to settings, they will put in custom CSS, they just have different, they have their custom CSS spread across their website, and when you want to track it, it's kind of difficult. So it's always good to be organized when you are building your website so that you can know where everything is. So when you are handing over the website to your client, you can tell them this is where the CSS is to control this. Oh, that's great, Oscar. Okay. So what? Okay, I wanted to do something here. Okay, to bring in form. Boom. So we have our form here already. Let's update and see. network, I don't know what. Okay. Don't know why this is not saving. Let me refresh this. Okay, so the last item we have here, I've mentioned about the custom CSS, the light box, the layout, the background. I think we are done with this. So what this site setting does, it kind of gives you access to be able to customize your whole website, so that you don't need to be going into from one page to another to customize it. So we have looked at the global color. I'm just recapping. We have looked at the global color, how to set it, the global font, the typography, the button, the image, the form fields, and that is it. So if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask on the comment section. At this point, I will hand over to Mr. Sunday. Hello, Mr. Sunday.
Yes, I'm right here, Kevin. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Okay. All right. So I don't know if you guys have questions written down, so we'll just take a few questions so we can wrap this up. Okay, I think we have some questions.
I think someone said, after creating a design system, is it possible to export it for reuse on another project? I'm not sure the default WP export tool will do that. What I can say, once you have defined your design system, what it will do is immediately you export it. Let's say, once you have set up everything you want, this is like our design system. So this is the design system I've created already, and all of them are taking the format I've specified for them. All I need to do is to export this template. I will save it, design system, then I'll save it and export it. So what this will do is, once you export this design system template, immediately you import it on a new project, it's going to come in with all the font, the style, and everything. Now you can easily customize the design system of that project without thinking of the font size, the color you are going to use. You just do a little bit modification by coming back. Let's say you have done you have exported it to a new, okay, let's quickly, let me show, let's say on this, my account page. When you import template, okay. So if I import this template, let's say I'm on a different environment, I happen to import my design system template. So what I will quickly do is to make all these elements, I will just make them to be a global. I'll just quickly set them up, heading 1. So that's why I'll just save it to be a global heading. So what I will do for this heading too, once I come here and find this custom heading, I guess so. Okay. I don't know why it's not showing. Once you come back to your design system, all you need to do is just to go and find it. So it will be somewhere here. It will be somewhere here. So you can use it to create your design. So I think that's what unstable internet. Here is the answer. Okay, yeah. Okay. Hello all. I can see the addition setting. So this is the addition settings. So this is the addition settings. That's this you are looking at. For the addition set, this is where you can pick where you want Elementor to work. You can pick different post type where you want to edit with Elementor. You can disable the default color, which is these colors we always see. You can disable the default color of Elementor. You can disable it. Default font, you can disable it. So you can give Elementor access to taking information to better develop Elementor, how you use the application to just take data on how you use the application. This is where you have the looking for style settings, integration. This is just the additional setting which we normally see under Elementor menu, and that's it. I really like how you did the image theme style. Can you show it one more time? Mr. Sunday, do we have time to show it?
Take that again.
Someone is asking, I really like how you did the image theme style. Can you show it one more time? Do we have time for that?
What we can do, since you had covered it earlier, if you give him more access to the video,
Okay.
the recording, that's to help.
Okay. I'm trying to go through the questions and see. Okay. What of when you are using when you are combining more than one font? I have answered that. So you define one of the font as a custom font, or you can give it any name and make it a global font. You can always pick it when you are designing. So under global fonts, you can add more fonts. So you can decide to choose a different font, Europa, and give it, let's say, you can make it 3 rims. You can customize it based on how you want it to look. So any element that you attach this to, let me refresh this. Okay. So once I pick this and look for it, you see. So we can also use as part of our design system. So you can add more than one font to it. Okay. Tahil, I think, did I answer your question? I'll stop sharing my screen. Sunday. Hello, Sunday. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm right here. Sorry, I was just trying to unmute myself.
Okay. I think I'm done with the questions you have on the chat. So if you have question, you can unmute yourself and ask the question if you don't want to type. Yes, that is Solonzo, if I get that right. It's just the same setting with the normal Elementor setting. I really like. Thank you. Okay. I'll stop presenting, and Sunday you can take over.
All right, thank you, Kelvin. That was amazing. I'm sure we all learned something new today, and it can actually take what Kevin covered into consideration and use it when you do designs. It makes it a whole lot easier because instead of having to design and style your pages individually, you can use the design system to define the global style for the different parts of the site for uh, the typography, style the images, do your light bulbs, and so on, which makes the design process a whole lot easier. Now, for me, when I build sites, that's always because the way I build is I start with planning. If I have a week or a month to build a site, I could just take 2 weeks basically to plan the site, and then I use the other 2 weeks and build. In fact, I could use a week to build. Once you have, once you plan properly, it becomes a whole lot easier to build. So that's one of the things I normally have at the top of my list, defining the global style, and then once you do that, it just makes everything easy. Next, you know, different pages to have the same font type, size, and then the colors and so on. So thank you so much, Kelvin. That's as far as we can go because of time. And before we wrap up, before we end today's meetup, I would like to make an important announcement. Now, I understand that there are some people who are just joining us for the first time, and most of you may not know me. Sandu Cafe is my name, and I'm passionate about building community, mostly because I believe it's the key to bridging the data gap in Africa. I started the Elementor Lagos Meetup over a year ago, and ever since then, I've been working with a few people in the community to grow it. And uh, Kelvin here has been one of the most active community members over time, and I'm happy to let us know that Kelvin, uh, from now on, will officially be taking over from me as the lead for the Elemental Lagos community. Now, that does not in any way mean that I won't be around. I won't be part of the meetups. If you heard me introduce myself over time, I've always said that I'm a tech evangelist, and my work is simple. It's basically spreading the data gospel.
Whoa! Congratulations!
Thank you. And one of the ways I do that is by being a part of communities, building communities, and then growing other people to fill in the leadership position and make sure the communities continue. And I'm sure, I have no doubt that Kim is going to and keeping the Lagos meetup active, and I'm also going to be here to give him all the necessary assistance and support. Now, this does not mean that I'll no longer be, be supporting the meetup. I'm still here, and I'll be joining all the meetups. It basically just means that I'll be more active with other endeavors, and then I'll basically be working with Kelvin behind the scene. So that's what I wanted to thank you guys. Thank you so much for your support over the years, and I hope that you give Kevin the necessary assistance, just have you assisted and helped me over the years. So thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone. I'll be dropping my mobile number on the chat section. If you have we have a WhatsApp group where the community meets to chat and share ideas and also help one another resolve their Elementor issues and answer Elementor questions. So this is 823-803-706-722. So if you want to join the WhatsApp group, you can follow the link. Yeah, message me on WhatsApp using that number, or you can also message Mr. Sunday. I'll drop his number as well.
Yeah, so I've just dropped the link to the WhatsApp group to make things easier.
Okay.
And we also have a Telegram group that we are trying to build. I will also share a link to the Telegram group.
Okay. So once you click on the link, you'll be admitted into the WhatsApp community. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Oscar. Nice to have you in our meetup.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Very
you.
good information.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Torre.
you.
Thank you, Solenzo. Thank you, Julian Media. Thank you, Squad and Yinka. Thank you, everyone. See you in our next meetup. For those of us already in the WhatsApp group, let's continue the conversation there.
Thank you for a great presentation. It was a nice one. I've been tinkering around the design system myself, but I've got a hold on it just like 40%, but you just shoot it up to like maybe 90% right now. So thank you. I'll pay attention to the readings you asked us to look into. If you can just please drop the link for that converter and all those design systems, it will go a long way.
Yes, I'll drop it in the group.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, and go ahead, Kevin.
No, continue Sunday.
All right, as I normally would say, the meetups are for you. So we'd like to get your topics. If there are topics you would like us to cover that will really make sense to you, an area you're not really familiar with, please go ahead and suggest that in the group, because we want to make sure that for every meetup you attend, that you get value. Thank you everyone for attending this meetup. And please do us a favor for the next meetup. Ensure you are is with me on the meetup group, and then kindly share the link with your friends. Help us invite your friends. Our goal is that as we come and learn, we don't just come and learn together. Our friends just come in. Should also come in and learn along with us. So please ensure you invite your friends to attend the meetup. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Have a great
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you too. Thanks, Mr. Sunday, for sending me that message on WhatsApp. I totally forgot. I forgot everything about it. But that message on WhatsApp, direct message, really helped me. Thank you.
My pleasure. You're welcome. All right. Thank you, everyone. So bye for today. Kelvin.
Bye.
Bye.